When it comes to delivering flowers for life's special occasions, trust the name that's been setting the standard for nearly 50 years. 1-800-Flowers.com. From breathtaking bouquets to one-of-a-kind arrangements, 1-800-Flowers is your authority on quality blooms. Always fresh, always stunning, always delivered with care. And right now, for a limited time, you can save up to 40% off your bouquet and make someone's day. Save up to 40% off today at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
This is the Washington Times front page for Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Democrats are ramping up their efforts to combat immigration and customs enforcement after an uptick in raids in U.S. cities. Stephen Dinan and Mary McHugh Bell report New York Attorney General Letitia James said she wants New Yorkers to turn over videos of what they witnessed this week after ICE personnel came through New York City's Chinatown neighborhood. Meanwhile, California Representative Robert Garcia, the ranking member on the House Oversight Committee, announced plans to host a tracker tool on the committee website. The tracker would allow people to report agency movements and operations nationwide. Thousands of mirrors orbiting the Earth could light up the night sky if a California startup wins permission to launch an experimental satellite that would beam sunlight onto solar farms at night. Susan Ferricchio reports a company called Reflect Orbital filed an application this year with the Federal Communications Commission seeking approval to launch a demonstration satellite that would test the concept of using mirrors to reflect the sun onto Earth after dark. The company plans to eventually build a constellation of thousands of space mirrors that would deliver sunlight on demand to solar farms and anywhere else that wants to pay. The company's plan has raised concerns among conservation groups and astronomers. In Colorado, 6 months after the Boulder abortion clinic closed its doors, a group called the Rise Collective has begun scheduling appointments for late-stage abortions. Valerie Richardson reports RISE, which stands for Reproductive Health, Inclusive Care, Support, and Empowerment, becomes one of an estimated 5 U.S. clinics offering abortions up to 34 weeks of gestation, or about 10 weeks after fetal viability. Colorado has no gestational limits on abortion, but the Boulder-based facility said that while the law is clear, access is not. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó says European leaders are suffering from a war psyche that is impeding President Trump's efforts to broker a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. In an interview with Arvon Kankane ahead of his meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio this week, Szijjártó expressed disappointment in the European response to the announcement of a summit between the U.S. and Russia in Hungary's capital of Budapest. Trump announced the summit last week after a surprise phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, but he said Tuesday that his plan for a swift meeting with Putin was on hold because he didn't want it to be a waste of time. And finally, Andrew Salmon takes a look at the detention of spiritual leaders in South Korea. They include Hak Ja Han Moon, leader of the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification. Moon has been detained and indicted on charges of embezzlement, bribery, illegal political donations, and destruction of evidence. The Federation, formerly known as the Unification Church, owns multiple businesses, including the Washington Times. Her trial on bribery charges is scheduled to begin Tuesday, but could be delayed. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. The Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.